In our 9 to 5 work life, we often face situations where we share our ideas, our vision, our strategies with our colleagues, bosses, customers every now and then. And it's also very common to face the challenge of receiving a no in a response. Surely this can be very, very frustrating, especially when we are convinced that whatever that idea that we've shared or whatever vision that we have or whatever strategy that we've made is going to give positive results or is going to benefit our customers. But we cannot look the other way whenever we come across clients who are resistant to new ideas. It's tough, but it's not impossible, as every no can be converted into a yes. But yes, there are certain no's that you, no matter what you do, will always stay no. Today, let's talk about how we can actually deal with a no when we're getting a no from our customers, or how to deal with this resistance that is coming from our customers. Hello everyone, this is Sonia, your companion and host on Thinking Out Loud Thursdays. And today we're going to be talking about one of the aspects of our professional life, of our 9 to 5 work life, where this is something that we deal on day-to-day basis. Every now and then, not every idea of ours gets accepted. Not everything that what we are saying will get accepted by the other people or by our customers or even by our bosses. So how to deal with it? How do we actually try to get that no into a yes? So let's get started. But before that, please consider subscribing if you've still not done so. And let's start our day with a cup of coffee, as we always do. So cheers everyone, and let's start. First thing when you're getting a no is when the customer is trying to tell you that no, I'm not interested to move forward in this. Please listen very actively. When you start listening, you are absorbing where the customer is coming from. Don't listen to start talking. Always listen to understand and don't listen to speak up. It's a very natural human phenomena that when we are trying to pitch our idea and the other person is a little resistant, we actually shut our minds. We are only thinking, what can I say next that the customer is going to say a yes? No, that's a very wrong approach. Instead, when the customer is talking, listen very carefully why the customer is not interested, what are the reasons, what is he actually looking for, what is his need, what are the pain points, what are the challenges, why is he so averse that idea, or why is he not interested in moving forward. So when the customer is talking, it is giving you the time to think what the needs are, what is he preferring, what are the challenges, and then start asking questions on that. Always listen to acknowledge and then ask, what is it that is holding him back? For example, you're pitching in a great product to the customer, but the customer is not interested. So you can simply just say, I understand that you had great success with your current approach. Tell me more about it. So when you ask the other person, tell me more about it, because the other person was very happy with the current maybe product and they are doing very well, he'll boast about it. He'll tell you what they've actually achieved with that particular product. And then you could simply just add by saying that my goal is to build on whatever success that you're getting and add a few elements that will enhance the experience for your customers and also will give you much better results. Now, with this, what you're doing is you're not rejecting whatever the current approach or the current product the customers were using. You are acknowledging that that product is also equally good, but maybe your product has some features and some added elements that could actually enhance the experience or can give them still better results. So always listen actively and listen to absorb and not just immediately start responding, and also start building trust. Because after you've listened, now show how your product or your idea will add value. Keep it very simple. Don't try and make it so confusing, and don't use any jargons that the other person will not understand, or use any short forms. Simplify your idea. If your idea is too complex, break it down into small steps so that it's very easy for the other person to understand. Show the benefit, the value. Use past data that you might have, any research that you've done, any success stories that you have, because all this will make it more relatable and will also help you in communicating all what you're trying to say in a much better and a more clearer way. Like, for example, we can improve the customer experience and say that our last customers, whosoever have used this product, have increased the customer engagement by 30%, which has resulted in higher conversion rates and eventually higher revenue or sales. So here what you're trying to do is you're building trust, you're building rapport as well, and you're building trust also with your customers or your bosses with whosoever that you're trying to pitch your idea. Always use show versus tell story. Use a storyboard, use a presentation, use some graphs, maybe bring a mock-up, because all this will draw attention and will make it even more engaging for the other person. Because tangibles can actually make your ideas look more real, more clear and persuasive. And next, always ask and seek. Ask questions and seek for feedback. Make them more and more involved in what you're trying to say. Encourage their thoughts, ideas, and promote collaboration than just simply just pitching your ideas. You can use testimonials if you have, and always follow up. It's very crucial to be in touch and always keep them informed. Address the concerns if they have any. Show value, involve them, and keep communicating. The channel of communication between you and your client or your bosses or your teams that you're trying to pitch your idea to should always remain open. You should, if there is a no or if there is a resistance coming in, don't take it as that it's going to remain forever. Try to make an effort of reasoning out as to why the customer is not interested or why your idea is not getting accepted, because either you convince them or you will then get convinced that, okay, fine, maybe my idea was not that great. But if you're really clear that yes, no, your idea will work, it will be in benefit for the company, for the customers, then you need to figure out that how will you convince the other person. And if you've done every possible thing, you've addressed all their concerns, you've listened to hear what they want to say, what are their pain points, what they're preferring. But if they still are not interested, if they're still not accepting, then maybe I think this is not the right time for you to pitch that idea. Maybe you need to wait a little longer and then maybe just handle this rejection of a no very gracefully. Don't start fighting it out with them. Don't take it very personally. You cannot have all your ideas getting accepted because not every idea of yours will get accepted. So handle these rejections that are coming. You've given your best, right? You gave it your best shot. Things didn't work out. Please take it very gracefully. It's not something that they have done personally to you. It's a product. It's a business. It's a service that you wanted to offer, which didn't get accepted. So that's fine. Move on. Move on to your next idea maybe that you have. Maybe something else that you have, you want to work on. Move on to that next thing. But before you do that, always seek reasons for a no or for a rejection, because that will help you that why your idea was not accepted or whatever that you were pitching was not okay with the other person. At least you'll get to know the reason. See, in my close to 3 decades of working in various corporates, I have realized that, even if you genuinely feel that this is for the benefit of the company and for the customers, you still will not be able to think through what the other persons might be saying, because there would be some things, because you're so involved and you're so with passion, you are getting involved into your idea and what you want to bring, the excitement, because you are very passionate about that idea, right? Which you are bringing on here. It's your baby, right? And you are super excited, and maybe there are few things that you have not reasoned out in your own mind because of that cloud of excitement that you have, right? Maybe the other person is coming from a different stance. So always respect a no as well. Don't take it very personally. And because I've always done that, because if a customer says a no, that okay, fine, I'm not interested, Sonia, this is the reason for it. And I'm like, okay, fine, I completely respect your, you are not willing to go ahead with this. I completely respect that. But if you feel there are any friends or anyone in your known circle who might benefit from it, do refer us. So what you're trying to do is you're still building the rapport with the customer. You're still being in touch with the customer and you're maintaining that professionalism, and the other person will certainly then maybe refer you. Maybe you'll get business through that customer. You'll get some other customers, right? So don't burn your bridges. And I've also seen that, if a customer said no today, maybe after 1 year, when the product has launched, maybe your product is at a very, very initial stage. The customer wants to wait and watch what the market is going to be doing, or the customer wants to wait and watch as to how the market will respond, how the other people will respond to your product. And maybe then he'll take a decision, even if the budget goes up or the pricing goes up. I've seen many customers. So I've been in real estate for almost like 19 years now. And I've seen that many people in the pre-launch, they're not very convinced about the product. They don't know whether the builder will deliver on time or not, whether the quality will be there. They prefer to wait. So no matter how hard you'll try to pitch, the pricing is better, the flexibility on payment plan is there, etc., they still will not buy because that's not the time that they want to invest in. So they wait on. Of course, we keep in touch with the customers, we keep sending them updates, and they come back because they want to invest in real estate. So they are looking for places to invest. So when the product has reached a particular stage and they hear good things about it and there are a lot of sales that are happening, so with that momentum, the customer gains confidence and he comes back. So there are cases that out of 100, say if 100 customers said no, there are chances that 25 to 30% of the customers, they come back always. So have patience. Don't get discouraged by a no. I know it's tough, but I'm sure that you will come around. Don't be discouraged and don't start doubting that your ideas are not getting accepted. So there's something wrong in your thinking or there's something wrong in your approach. Do a self-reflection as to, what is going wrong? Where can I improve myself? Don't start judging yourself. Don't start criticizing yourself and thinking that, I'm not good enough for this. So never let your confidence levels go down. Don't let yourself be demotivated in these circumstances when you get a no. Use this as an opportunity to look at, what are the things that can be improved, whether I need to take a different approach for a similar product or I need to bring some more ideas on the table. With that, we come to the end of our episode. I really hope that you found value in this episode. And if you did, you know what to do. Please do like, comment, and share this video with your friends and colleagues. And of course, do consider subscribing if you've still not done so. Thank you for watching me, and I'm going to see you in my next video. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.